Audrain, Newport, Concours, Motor Week. And, well, guys, how about a round of applause for our guests here?
Thank you, young people. Thank you. Thank you.
We are here with the chairman of the Audrain Automobile Museum, Nick Schorsch, and with probably one of the greatest entertainers of our
that's it. Yeah.
of our lifetime.
Yeah, that's why I'm here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
The great Jay Leno.
Well, thank you, show people.
I appreciate you doing the show. I didn't think after last year you'd come back.
No, I had a lot of fun last year. It was great. We had a good time.
Well, this event is great, and I know that both of you do a lot getting ready for
Oh, yeah. Well, New England just makes me laugh. It's like the funniest place in the world. Like, we're up here, so it makes me... This is the only car show. What, you got a Chevelle? What, you think you're better than me? You got a Chevelle? No, I'm here for the car show. No, yeah. What, do you think you're better than me? No, I don't. We both have to, just makes me laugh. It's like funny.
Well, I was dying last night because you said this happens to you a lot, but there's a guy, Jeremy, here, who said to me last night, he goes, "Hey, Jay Leno bought this car from my uncle in Tewksbury." And so then I said, "Well, I'll bring you up." And he said, "No, I've never purchased a car.
I've never bought a car in Tewksbury. For some reason, I like Tewksbury. It's a lovely area. I just don't buy cars there. I don't know what to tell you. Where's the car? Oh, Tewksbury. No. I like that. But that's the funny part, because people go, "Hey, my cousin in New Hampshire, he paints all your cars."
Yeah.
I live in California. Yeah, but he does all your painting. I said, I don't send them to New Hampshire to get painted. Plus, I have a paint shop in my. Yeah, we painted it. He goes, no, but he does them all. Yeah, okay, like the cousin couldn't be wrong. I got it.
I did hear somebody was telling me last night that you wrote a piece in some publication about a guy who you met 40 years ago.
Oh,
who had a motorcycle?
This is classic English. Okay. I like motorcycles. There's a British motorcycle called the Bruff Superior. It was the fastest motorcycle of the 20s. It was guaranteed to 100 miles an hour, which in the 20s was like crazy. Lawrence of Arabia owned 8 of them. That's how they sort of got famous off of him. He would write about his exploits. Okay. So I'm down in Austin, Texas, 1988, and this guy says to me, "Hey, you like motorcycles?" I've got a Bruff Superior. I bought it in a box for $1,300 back in the 70s. What are you going to do with it? He said, "Well, I'm going to store it." "What are you going to do?" "Well, after I store it, I'll probably sell it." I said, "Well, tell you what. Let me know when you finish it, and maybe I'll buy it from you." "Okay, great." 1988. 2 months ago, he shows up in my garage. And he pulls in. "Hey, can I help you?" "Yeah, it's done." "What? The bike?" "I'm sorry." "Oh, then I kind of, all right." I said, "Okay, how's it run?" He goes, "I don't know. I wanted you to be the first one to start it." "Wait, you haven't even run it yet?" "No." "All right." So we take it out of the trailer, and it's beautiful. I mean, he did an unbelievable job, because it was called the 680, and they weren't very reliable when they were new. They had certain problems that the factory never fixed, and he fixed all those problems. So I kick it twice, it runs fine. I go, "Okay, I guess I have to buy it now?" He goes, "Yeah, you said you're going to buy it." All right. I mean, I bought it. And then I had it about a month, and I figured, let me kind of give him a hard time. So I call him up in Texas. I go, "Hey, listen, I wish you'd taken another 10 or 15 years just to go over it and tighten." He goes, "I was thinking of doing that, but I wanted to get it to you sooner." I go, "Well, I appreciate that. Get it to me while I'm only 75 years old."
So it took the man 40 years to...
That's called an English restoration, yes.
Yeah, all right.
That's the way the English do it. Hilarious. Nobody funnier than the English.
How many automobiles are here this week?
We have 220 on the field for the Concours, and I think we'll have probably 35 today over at the Tennis Village, which is the Motor Village this weekend.
Yeah.
And they're all out this morning and opens at 10 o'clock, and they're all race cars. So we go all the way from F1 all the way back to Indianapolis cars from the 30s.
Yeah.
And that's going to be another 30 cars, and then the gathering will be about 200 more over at Rough Point starting this morning.
Well, the coolest thing about this event, and this is something we started here in Rhode Island. You go to these car shows, it's all old guys with gray hair, and It's fun, fun, fun till daddy takes the T-bird away. And the young people just run.
Yeah.
They go, what is that crap? It's like fingernails on blackboard. They can't stand it. So we started a class called 30 Under 30. If you're 30 years or younger and you've restored any car for less than $30,000, you can be in the show. And these kids show up with their cars. They're so proud of them, you know. I mean, you've got your BMW from the 90s parked next to Mercedes and Ferraris, and these kids are so happy to be part of it. It really brings them into the fold, you know, because they don't really relate to Countachs and Lamborghini because that wasn't the car when they were kids, you know.
Yeah.
So it really makes a lot of fun to get a lot of these 9 cars that to me just look like the Walmart parking lot. But you know, if you're 40 now, the 90s were a hot time. They were cool cars. So it's a lot of fun to have this new class just to get this kind of much young blood coming into the hobby.
And that's really taken off because we have now 4 30 under 30 classes.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they have them out on the field next to a Duesenberg or a Bugatti, or an old Bugatti.
Yeah.
And sitting next to some of the great royalty of you know, classic car concourses, and they learn from them. And it's really a great bonding experience for them.
Jay, I think you hate this question, but because I asked it last year, I think, how many cars do you have now?
Again, I think I gave the same answer. You sound like my wife. Yeah, there's a lot of cars. I mean, I do that thing. No, honey, you remember this when it used to be blue, remember? Oh, you painted it? Yeah, I just painted it, honey.
So she doesn't want you spending the money on the car.
No, she's fine. She's fine. You know, Italy, you know, it's still cheaper than hookers and cocaine.
Everyone needs a vice.
No, I say to my wife, honey, just look at Charlie Sheen. Okay, look, compare the two of us. I come home reeking of transmission fluid, which is easier to deal with than, you know, coke and all this other kind of stuff. So.
That is true.
No, it is true.
But I mean, the 80s were quite a decade.
Because they always know where you are, you know. There's an old golf joke that is a good comparison to the car hobby. This guy's playing golf on Saturday, you know, and he's supposed to be home at 5. Well, God, it's 10 minutes to 6. He's driving home. He sees a woman with a flat tire. Can you? I got a flat. I only live a mile. The guy goes, I'll change it for you. He changed the tire. Here you go. You all set to go. Can you follow me home? If I have another, and she's just hysterical. You know, the guy goes, oh, okay. You're not going to get a flat in a mile on that. Well, what if I? All right. He follows her home. They get to her house. She goes, can I offer you a drink? Just to say thank you. My wife's waiting. No, just one drink. The guy has a drink, then another drink. Then they wind up in bed.
Oh, God.
Now they're having sex.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's 11 o'clock at night. He's driving. Oh, what an idiot. I ruined my life. You know, I'm not going to live a lie. I just got to tell my wife what happened. I don't care. I'm not going to live a lie. He pulls in. The wife's got her arms folded in the driveway. Where were you? Honey, I was coming home with someone with a flat tire. She asked me to change it. I changed it for her. And then she said, could you follow me home? All right. I said, here you go. And she, can I give you a drink? I got to go. My wife's away. I just wondered. I had a drink, had another drink. Then we wound up in bed and had sex. The wife goes, you're a damn liar. You're playing another round of golf.
That's the way that would go.
Yeah, that's the way that goes. Same thing with a car hobby. Exactly.
I mean, he still got it.
Yeah.
Like, he still got. Do you still like go out and do stand-up? I know you used to show up.
Yeah, that's how I make a living. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have cleared that up. Yeah, I hosted a TV show for a number of years.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it called The Tonight Show?
The Tonight Show,
Yeah.
that's right.
But do you still show up like at the Comedy Store or something?
I was here Tuesday night. We did a show for
You
the
did?
charity. Yeah.
Yeah, because so you still do it because you love
Yeah,
it.
well, here's his joke you'll like.
Yeah.
3 rich guys in Miami playing golf, you know. They go, we need a 4th, and they see a plumbing truck pull up. Guy gets out. He got his golf bag. How about that guy? Well, he's not really our class of people. I mean, he's a guy goes, look, why? Let's invite him. You want to join? Oh, thanks, fellas. Guy says, listen, my club's on. Go ahead and make a phone call. Okay. Goes in and make a phone call. Meanwhile, the 3 rich guys start talking. One rich guy says, hey, how's your boy doing? He goes, oh, he's unbelievable. You know, he's in real estate. Here's how well he's doing. He gave his best friend a brand new condo, all expenses paid, free and clear. Oh, it's unbelievable. How's your boy doing? Well, my son, he's probably the biggest BMW dealer in southern Florida. You know, he handles all the cars. In fact, he gave his best buddy a brand new top-of-the-line BMW, fully loaded, every option. That's unbelievable. 3rd guy. How about your kid? Well, like me, he's a stockbroker. Well, here's how well he's doing. His best friend He gave him a $100,000 stock portfolio, absolutely free. God, this is unbelievable. Then the plumber comes back in. They go, hey, ready to play golf? They go, we were just talking about a kid. You got a kid? Yeah, I got a son. He's 22. What does he do? He's a gay dancer at a nude male strip club in Fort Lauderdale. And the three guys go, really? Is there any money in that? Oh, yeah. One guy gave him a condo. Another guy gave him a BMW.
Okay. Yeah, don't ever stop doing it.
That is so good.
Ever stop. What did you? I've been so curious since.
So curious.
But what did you make of the Jimmy Kimmel stuff?
Look, it's a free speech deal. I agree with Jimmy. You know, Jimmy and I are friends. We've had our differences and stuff. It's fine. But, I mean, you can't just take a guy off the air because you don't like a joke he did about you. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you have to support that. I mean, the whole country is based on that. I mean, political discourse and satire is the whole basis of America. It's the only country in the world you can do that. You can't do it in North Korea. You can't do it in a lot of countries. You just get arrested, you know. And so to me, and I think they realize, ABC realized how stupid that was just to pull it off there. Because now you got people that never watched the show are now watching the show because they don't like the indignity of it. You know?
Yeah. Johnny Carson did that famous 60 Minutes interview. I'm sure you've seen it. Where he said he never went political.
Well, Reagan used to get mad at him because he'd do his Reagan impression all the time, and Reagan would kind of, hey, could you lay off there a little bit on this? That was basically my thing at the time too. We live in an era now where everybody has to know what you had for lunch and let's see a picture of it, and you know, just all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it was a different time.
So you tend to try to find something funny as opposed to going.
Well, you try to humiliate and degrade equally on both sides. You know.
Smart.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to do, I think.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
both sides.
and it makes it more fair, you know, because people are just waiting for you to make some tiny error. It's hilarious.
Yeah. When you look at that job. And it's way different, I think, now just because of the lives that everybody leads and the way people consume.
It's not different. It's the same job.
But it's not consumed the way it used to be consumed.
Write joke, tell joke, get check. Very simple process. There's nothing harder than writing a joke. Yeah. But if you can get around it by giving your opinion or talking about an issue or whatever it might be, got out of writing. It's hard to write jokes. It's a lot of work. Half the time they don't work and whatever it might be. So that's if you just concentrate on the jokes, you'll probably do okay.
Did you, all your years on the Tonight Show, do you have a favorite guest?
Oh, I had a lot of favorite guests. I like politicians. That was fun. You know, Sean Connery. I love Sean Connery because Sean Connery was not James Bond. I mean, he was a longshoreman. He was Mr. Universe, third runner-up, 1953, and he would fight at the drop of a hat. He would just fight anybody. Yeah, I think Scotland should put. Look at swallowing alone. He would just go into a tirade, you know. And I would have him on, and he would come and he'd go, Jay, what's the latest filthy joke going about, Jay? You know, and I would tell him the joke, and he would laugh like a pirate. And he would actually slap his knee. You know, they would say something to knee slap. I heard that. I never saw somebody actually slap their knee. And he was like a loud guy, you know. We had these little tiny showers in the dressing room. Nobody ever used them except Sean Connery. But he'd get in there with a bar. So, well, Scotland before you, I'll take the high road. And the news crew would come down and go, who's yelling? We're trying to do in the news. It's Sean Connery in the show. You go tell him to shut up.
Sean Connery in the Tonight Show shower. Yes.
It's so interesting you bring up free speech, especially when it comes to what's going on right now. A lot of stand-up comedians are in hot water with the Saudi Arabia stuff. Where do you fall in that? Them getting a check to be able to go over there?
Here's my thing. I don't criticize other comics.
Right.
I don't like this thing now where other comics are attacking you for doing what so look. If your wife just had a baby or whatever it might be, and you're not working, and you do a show. I mean, they're not giving an opinion. Yep. They're just doing what they do. Right. Okay? I mean, I didn't go. I turned it down, but that's fine. That's fine. I don't pay, you know. I love Bill Burr. I love Chappelle. All these guys are great. Yeah, I don't think it's any big deal.
But you turned the money down.
Yeah, first of all, well, I have other reasons too. You know, I'm kind of caretaker from where I sort of me to go to Saudi Arabia for a fun-filled weekend in Saudi Arabia. You know,
You can't do that.
oh, you ever been there?
No.
It is hilarious.
Wiggy wants to go.
Yeah, I love the Saudis. They got that long money.
Well,
the money that never runs out money.
Well, I went there for Desert Storm the first time, and I brought my wife, and I had to bring her in as a temporary man. Her passport has her picture, and it says temporary man. She had to come in as temporary man. Okay, so this is in Riyadh, and then we go to this restaurant, right? So he sits down. You know those dressing things that, like in the Old West, when you used to get, the woman would go behind it and get dressed and throw the clothes up. You know?
Yeah, you can see the shadow.
Okay, we sit down in the restaurant, and they put one of those around her. So I can't see her now. I said, "How you doing there, honey?" "Good." Okay. You know, and the restaurant was like Prussian Italian. So it was like guys in powdered wigs and red vests bringing you spaghetti. It was like an episode of Star Trek where they're on a planet where you picked up the radar waves from different things and you're not quite sure what it is. It was like the goofiest.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I go back to my room and I turn on the TV and Star Trek is on. Oh, I'll watch Star Trek. And it's Kirk going, "Thursday, fine. Yes, okay." And I realized they've edited out all the female speaking parts.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, it's just guys talking to the wall. And it was like the strangest thing. It was like all this, like they go through every magazine with a straight razor and they could take out bra ads or panty ads, anything that has.
Is it still? It's still like.
No, I'm talking about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It's much more liberal.
I got to ask a question.
Did you meet
All
a guy,
right.
Did you meet a guy over there who said he was working on a camel that he was going to sell you in 40 years?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
No, I'm fascinated with the world of comics and just like, whether it was the Eddie Murphy documentary or like Richard Pryor and how they start at a young age and get into it, because I think a comedian is the hardest thing to do because you have to be up there on stage on your own and get an emotional reaction out of people. What made you?
That's coming from a guy who won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you would say that's harder.
I think that's harder.
No. I truly believe that, like if the one gift, I almost believe it's a gift that comedians have. And like what made you, or when did you know, like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do? Was you a little kid that used to tell jokes in front of the family? I think Eddie Murphy used to do that.
Well, I remember as a kid getting laughs with certain things. When you're comedy, you just kind of remember everything that gets a laugh. I remember my mother had taken me. Nobody had child care then. Your mother just dragged you everywhere, So my mother goes over to see my aunts, and they're sitting around, they're drinking wine. I'm like 5, I think 4 or 5, and they're all getting a little loopy, And I'm looking at these women, and I said, I thought it was a legitimate question. I said, "Hey, Mom, how come women have humps like camels?" And I hear, "Whoa, listen to that one! Oh my God!" I go, What I say? And I remember that. I didn't know why I got a reaction at the time, but everyone, "Oh, Kathy, that one who's going to be trouble." They're all cackling, and I went,
was your first laugh?
I laughed it, yeah. Actually, my first laugh was in 4th grade in Mrs. Allen's class. It was the first real joke. She was telling us about Robin Hood and the Sherwood Forest and how cruel the sheriff of Nottingham was, And she said when the sheriff captured Robin's men, he would boil them in oil. And I put my hand up and I said, "Well, you know why she did that to Tuck?" And I said, "No, because he was a friar." And I
Give him a laugh.
No. So anyway, so I saw the teacher go, "All right, now that's not fun." But you started to smile, Okay, so I got a reaction. And then later in the day, I'm walking past the teacher's lounge, and one of the teachers said, "Hey, Leno, come here. What did you say in class?" I said, "What? What did you say in class about Friar Tuck?" And I told them the joke. And the teacher went back to the teacher's lounge with my joke.
And shared your joke.
I said, this is
could be good.
Yeah, but you just kind of remember everything you say that gets a reaction or something. Just sort of helps.
Are you guys here for a little bit? I know. Okay, I just got to take a quick break.
You want us to leave now? You hear a little bit?
Can we hear for Jay? We have a little jinx that happens on this show sometimes. So we'll have somebody on and they'll get hurt playing a game, or God forbid, I mentioned somebody's name and they pass away right after. And so
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah,
That's great.
last year we had you on.
Right.
And then like a week and a half later,
I fell down that hill. Yeah.
you fell down the hill, and all these people were speculating. They're like, "Oh my God, Jay Leno got beat up." Like, what's America?
Well, I love the idea that the Gavone brothers would drive to Greenburgh, Pennsylvania, to go to a Hampton Inn on a rainy night to throw a guy down a hill. Why'd you just shoot me? It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. And because it's funny, because the place had one of these driveways that goes in a circle up to the top of the hill. So I come out and I go, "Where's the place to eat?" And the guy goes, "There's a place right there." And he points. He goes, "But it's about 1.5 miles if you take the road." I said, "Well, I'll just go down the hill." And of course I have dress shoes on. just fall on my face. Just like bash my eye up, right? So I'm still going to get something to eat, right? So I get in my eyes all, not my eyes swollen shut, right? So again, I order the chicken Parmesan sandwich. Okay, so after the news crew goes out and interviews the guy who made my chicken Parmesan sandwich, and they said, "What did he have? Chicken Parmesan? What is that exactly?" "Or it's a breast of chicken." And the guy explains how he makes the sandwich. It was great. It was hilarious.
Well, I think like the older, I'm getting up there, unfortunately. You actually would prefer to say, me personally, rather than say I fell down a hill, I'd prefer to say, "Hey, yeah, I got beat up because I got gambling debts."
Well, yeah. Well, actually, that's not really preferable.
It's not. No, that's not preferable.
Yeah.
No.
I think being an old guy to fall. And well, the funny thing, as I'm falling down the hill, there are these two ladies at the bottom of the hill, and I hear the lady go, "I think that's Jay Leno falling down the hill." She goes, "Why would Jay Leno be in Greenburgh, Pennsylvania? This is ridiculous. I think that's him." So I'm like, I'm getting up. And I said, "Hi, girls. Can you give me a ride to the restaurant?" "Sure, okay." So give me a ride to the restaurant, the chicken Parmesan. I mean, it's like funny. But the really funniest part is, it got to be such a huge story, all the mob, and I owe money and all this kind of stuff, that, what was I going to, I lost my train of thought here. Where was I going with this? What happened?
You actually paid the mob off?
No. I'm trying to. I forgot. Go ahead.
That happens to Greg like once
Yeah,
a
it
day.
does. It happens to me all the time. It does.
Jay, I'm curious
Yes.
just in terms of why comedians are become so much more afraid, timid when it comes to just making people laugh and saying outlandish. Like, I think Ricky Gervais is brilliant.
Yeah,
and he
Ricky's good.
stands alone because he's one of very few people that's willing to make fun of anything.
Right.
Why has that shifted, do you think?
I don't think it's never shifted. It's been exactly. You have all different kinds of comedians. You have guys do impressionists. Like Dana Carvey is a hilarious. He kills me, but it's not political. Even though he does both sides, he does Trump, he does Biden, he does them all. I never think of it as political, and that's his choice too, because he's a comedian. Your first job is to get laughs. A lot of people think, and it's fine, that what they have to say on an issue is important. Okay, that's fine. You might sacrifice some laughs for that, and people might criticize you for it. But to me, I like Rodney and I were friends for 40 years. I have no idea if he was a Republican or Democrat. We never talked about it. We just talked about jokes,
Yeah.
And Rodney was hilarious. Just like the funniest guy. His thing was the economy of words. The smallest amount of words to tell a joke. Like one of my favorite Rodney jokes, he goes, "I went to the doctor. Doc said I needed a urine sample, a semen sample, and a stool sample. So I gave him my underpants." I mean, that's a great joke.
No, and Rodney Dangerfield was, when you look back at Johnny Carson, he was one of the great guests on that show. Unbelievable guest on that.
Well, that was my favorite thing, because I would watch Johnny be straight man. "Pretty rough, Rodney?" "Oh, I tell you, Johnny, it's unbelievable." And then he'd say something there. It was pretty cold.
Yeah.
"Really? How cold was Rodney?" "Oh, I got to tell you, Johnny." So having the opportunity to do that with Rodney was so much fun, to be the straight man to watch Rodney bounce off.
Yeah. Was, minus yourself, of course, was Johnny Carson the best late night host ever?
I think that's fair to say. I mean, in terms of,
Courtney and Shime have no idea probably.
No, I know who he
Yeah.
is, of course.
Yeah, I think that's true. He did it the longest, and to this day still held the biggest audience ever. But television changes. You got streaming now. You can watch all 3 Godfathers without commercials.
I want to ask a question because it's interesting that you talk about all these different comedians. Chappelle's, he gets jokes and he says whatever's on his mind. Maybe it might be hard for you to answer. Who, in your opinion, is, maybe the greatest comic ever, or is
Of all time.
Of all time, or who is the greatest show that you ever seen? Maybe
Well,
it might be
it's
hard.
only I work with I call him Richie Pryor. He was Richie when we knew him. It's Richard. Now you say Richard Pryor, but he was Richie then. And I tried to follow him every night at the Comedy Store because he would get up and he would blow the room out. Just people falling down, dying, laughing, And I wanted to go on after him to see if and I realized I didn't have 45 minutes. I had maybe 12 minutes of stuff that actually worked. And it makes you a better comic because you throw away everything that's not working. But working with Richie for a couple of months at the Comedy, that was one of my favorites. Just watching the way he put stuff together and had that weird, hilarious, just very funny guy.
So Richard Pryor would be your.
Yeah, I put Richie right up.
Do you have a favorite up-and-comer?
Well, also Bob Newhart.
Oh, really?
Really?
Wow.
Only for Bob Newhart it was like throwing a slider. He would ease into a joke. Here's one of my favorite. This is like the typical Bob Newhart thing, and you have to listen. He had a bit about the first astronaut to have contact with extraterrestrials. Oh, yeah. So he has contact with extraterrestrials in space. He comes back to Earth, and there's a huge press conference. And one of the reporters said, "How far ahead of us are these aliens?" And Bob says, "About 6 weeks." And because 6 weeks, 6 months is too far. 2 weeks, you catch up, but you can't catch up to 6 weeks. Just the idea that a civilization is only 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and you can't catch up.
Yeah.
And to me, he always had those kind of. You had to listen. You had to pay attention.
You have to think about it.
Yeah. So there's all different kind of comedians. Oh, there's so much. Bill Burr's one of my. It kills. Burr has that classic Boston. What are you, smart ass? What are you? Just that hilarious kind of Boston attitude.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of great comedians came from Boston.
Oh yeah. No, it's a great place to be from because it's just so quirky. I remember this is what I love about New England. When Mayor Dukakis ran for president, he campaigned on a platform of mandatory seatbelt law. That was his thing.
Yeah.
And people in Massachusetts rebelled against it. And they were selling T-shirts that had a fake seatbelt on it. So you put this on and drive it, and if a cop saw you, it looked like you were wearing a seatbelt. So, okay, what is the point of that? Just so stupid.
Yeah,
just that New England,
Massachusetts.
I want to smoke. It's about freedom. Of freedom to smoke. Smoke whatever you want.
If I want to go through the windshield, it should be my right.
My right.
That's what I love about New England. Just that quirky New England Yankee kind of, hilarious.
Well, what New England loves is you. So,
Well, I thank you very much.
Jay Leno.
Well, come down to Rhode Island to the car show this week.
Yeah. So a bunch of events. Nick,
Yes.
Okay. So today.
Today we have the Village Open. It's free, and that's where all the race cars are from the 30s all the way through F1 cars that are current. And IROC cars are coming back. That whole series has been bought and brought back. And they're going to have a bunch of IROC cars.
I love those. The
great.
IROC Zs?
Yep.
Yeah, Pontiac.
Well, here's the best thing. There's stuff for your spouse to do. You come here and there's the mansion tours, and so if you're with someone, male or female, who's not particularly a car person, there's an Italian festival going on as well.
And we're also doing we also at the gathering today, there's food, there's entertainment, there's cars.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things to do that have nothing to do with cars on the site. And then tomorrow, on Sunday, before the concourse, many of the entrants go out on the field at 6:30 in the morning, and their wives or their husbands, depending on which one's the car enthusiast, doesn't have anything to do. So they can go to the mansions, or they can go do yoga out on the cliff walk.
Well,
Who doesn't want to do yoga on the cliff walk?
walk.
Oh, yeah. The crowds.
we were, and thank you. We were at your shack last night.
Yep.
I feel it's only fair that we go to Jay's place today.
Oh, I'm kind of tied up.
Oh, you are?
It's such short notice.
I mean, is it big enough?
Yeah,
What is it, like a two-room?
Yeah, but you have a big house. What do you think? You're better than me because you got a house there?
Big house.
Look, you're going
big
to
mansion in Newport.
You got a big
Jay
mansion.
Leno?
What do you?
All right. Round of applause for.
Thank you,
these
thank
guys.
you, people.
All right.
You want a quick joke?
Yeah.
Here's a joke you like.
Okay.
A 60-year-old couple's walking down the beach holding hands. The wife looks down and sees an Aladdin's lamp in the sand. What? She rubs it. Genie puts it. What do you want? She goes, oh, I always wanted to travel. I do anything to travel. Poof! The travel brochures over. She's picking them up. The husband goes, hey, come here. He grabs the lamp, rubs it. Genie comes